A very good day to Maiden right now. I am from Group 5, Nurul binti Muhammad Sanif with my matrix number 01DKB20F2017. Me and my team members are Shafiqah, Kasha, Jalani and Herindran. Today we will go through chapter 6, which is Islamic banking concept and its principle. The principles are Al-Wadiyah Ya'tamanah, Al-Mudarabah, Al-Musharakah and Al-Murabahah. Next, allow me to introduce the Islamic banking concept first, and then my team members will go through one by one of the principles. First of all, Islamic banking is a type of financial activity that must comply with the Sharia law and according to the Islamic financial features. Besides, there are two underlying principles for Islamic banking, includes material validity of the transactions and profit or loss sharing. Next, there are transactions that are prohibited in Sharia law. It is riba, gharar, maisir, and business that involve in the prohibited or forbidden in Islam activities such as selling or producing pork or selling alcohol. Riba is any return on money that is per demand in amount and therefore includes modern day interest. Meanwhile, gharar is an uncertainty in contracts, and last but not least, maisir, which means gambling, or the contracts involved where the ownership of goods depends on the uncertain event in the future.
My name is Aisha Kashati binti Barul Ulum and my matric number is 01DKB20F2007. Now I will start with our first Islamic banking concept, which is Al-Wadiyah Ya'tamanah. The contents that I will include is definitions, pillars and followers of Al-Wadiyah, the features, condition, the types of Al-Wadiyah, and also deposit under Islamic and conventional banking. Let's start with the definitions of Al-Wadiyah. Literally, it means to leave, quit, or abandon. For technically, Al-Wadiyah can be defined as representations in keeping positions or respectable private goods in a specific way. Or it can be any belonging left by the owners or his representative with somebody to take care of them. The word of Al-Wadiyah is mean the commissions that given by depositor to depository for holding his property in safe custody, while Al-Amanah is done with the basis of charity. There are four pillars of Al-Wadiyah. The first one is Al-Muwadi. Al-Muwadi refers to the depositor or the owner of the property. The second one is Al-Wadi. Al-Wadi is the depositee or the custodian of the property. And the next one is Al-Wadiyah itself, which is the property for safekeeping. And the last one is Sikha. Sikha means offer and accept. In Islam, known as ijab and kabul. The pillars of Al-Wadiyah is the Al-Muwadi, which is the depositor will offer the Al-Wadi to safekeeping his property. And then next, the Al-Wadi will accept the offer of Al-Muwadi. This is the process of ijab and kabul. Now let me explain about the features of Al-Wadiyah Ya'tamanah. The first one is the custodian should keep the deposit as he is keeping and taking care of his own property. The second one is the custodian should not utilize or take benefit of the deposit. The third one is the custodian should not transfer the deposit in the hands of others without permissions of the depositor. The last one is the custodian should return the deposit back to the owner upon request. Now let's talk about the conditions of Al-Wadiyah. The conditions of contracting parties, there must be a Al-Muwadi, which is as a depositor. The second one is Al-Wadi as the depositee. The both party must be a person sound of mind, which is eligible them to do a contract. Next, both party must be eligible to be an agent and also trustee. And the last one, Al-Wadi must ensure his capability to safekeep the deposit. Next is the conditions for Al-Wadiyah, which is the deposit property. First, it must be valuable from Sharia point of view, must be owned and deliverable. Next, it must be a form of property that can be possessed physically. There are two types of Al-Wadiyah. The first one is Wadiyah Ya'tamanah, which is the custody based on trust. And the second one is Wadiyah Ya'tamanah, which is guaranteed safe custody. Now let's move on with the deposits under Islamic and conventional banking. There are a few categories that I list to differentiate between conventional banking and Islamic banking. The first one is contract. The conventional bank use loan contract, while Islamic banking use Wadiyah, which is safekeeping. The relationship that conventional banking call is lender and borrower, while Islamic banking use depositor and depositee. The income, conventional banking use deposits as a paid interest, while Islamic banking deposits are not entitled to any income. And the last one is products. The deposits are liability products of a bank, while for Islamic banking, deposits are either a trust or guaranteed products of a bank. In conclusion, our dia is based on amanah, which is trust. It is charitable and divinely rewarded. That's all from me, and my next team member will continue this presentation.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Madam Rana and everyone. My name is Syafiqah Fakih Binti Syahiman with the matrix number of 01 DKB 20F024 from class DKB3. Today, I will be continuing the presentation regarding Islamic financial concepts. The principles that I will be explaining is principles of Al-Mudarabah. The term Mudarabah has been derived from one of the meanings of the Arabic word daraba, which means travel. Thus, the word Mudarabah means travel for undertaking business. Mudarabah means any amounts given to the financial institution for the purpose of doing business on the basis of sharing of the profit and losses. There are a number of features that are attributed to the Mudarabah contract. This includes nature of contract, capital, management, profit sharing right, and treatment of losses. Mudarabah is a partnership in profit whereby one party provides capital and the other party provides skill and labor. The provider of capital is called Rabumal or Shahibumal, while the provider of skill and labor is called Mudarib. So an Islamic bank can enter into a two-tier Mudarabah agreement where the first tier is an agreement between the bank and the depositors who agree to put their money into the bank's investment account to share the profits with it. The second tier is an agreement between the bank and the entrepreneurs who seek finance from the bank on the condition that profits accumulated over time from their business will be shared between them and the bank in a previously mutually agreed proportion. But that loss shall be borne by the financier only, which is the bank. That is all from me, so I call upon my other team members to continue with the presentation.
Hi madam, I'm Jani Silvakumar and my matric number is 01GKB20F2014. Today, I'm going to present about the Al-Musharaka. Well, what is Al-Musharaka? Al-Musharaka is a joint enterprise or partnership structure in Islamic finance in which partners share in the profit and losses of enterprise. Since Islamic law Sharia does not permit profiting from interest in lending, Musharaka allows the financier of a project or company to achieve a return in the form of a portion of the actual profit according to the predetermined ratio. Next is the roles of Musharaka. Musharaka play a vital role in financing business operation based on Islamic principle. For example, assume that person A want to start a business but only has a limited budget. Individual B has extra money and want to be A's Musharaka financer. Two people will agree on the term and start a business in which they will split the profit and losses equally. This eliminates the needs for aid to borrow money firms. Secondly, musharaka frequently used in the purchase of property and real estate in providing credit for investment projects in finance large purchases. When musharaka is used to fund large purchase, banks are more likely to use floating rate interest loan tied to a company rate return. There are two types of musharaka, which is shirka al-mufawada partnership and permanent musharaka. Shirka al-mufawada is an equal, unlimited and unrestricted partnership in which all partners put in the same sum, share the sum profit and have the same rights. A permanent musharaka is often used for a long-term financing needs since it has no specific end date and continues until the partners decide to dissolve. In a diminishing partnership, which is declining musharaka, one partner's share is drawn down, which it is transferred to another partner until the entire sum is passed over. Such structure is common in home buying, where the lender buy a property and receives the payment from a buyer until the whole balance is paid off. In case of default, both buyer and lender get a share of the proceed from sale of the property on a pro rata basis, which lender benefiting from any property sale following a foreclosure.
My name is Harindran Jagadesan and my matrix number is 01DKB20F2009. Today I would like to explain about Hal Murabaha. Murabaha, also referred to as cost plus financing, is an Islamic financing structure in which the seller and buyer agree to the cost and markup of an asset. The markup takes place of interest, which is illegal in Islamic law. As such, Murabaha is not an interest-bearing loan but is an acceptable form of credit sale under Islamic law. As with a rent-to-own arrangement, the purchaser does not become the true owner until the loan is fully paid. There are 5 important elements for condition of al-Murabaha. First, product and selling price. Second, contracting parties. Third, offer and acceptance. Fourth, no riba trading shall be involved. Fifth, the initial contract must be valid. This slide will be an explanation for condition. First, product and selling price. Product must be clearly defined, including its type, quantity and other descriptions. Second, contracting parties. Seller must supply the product and buyer must be paid for all the product. Third, offer and acceptance. 2 important elements are there. First, cost price and second, rate of profit. Fourth, no riba trading shall be involved. Product traded cannot be paid by barter system from ribawi item prohibited by the Prophet. The final is the initial contract must be valid. The traded item or property must be lawfully owned by the seller according to the Sharia requirements. The final part of my slide is issue. First, rebate in the event or default. Second, disclosure of cost price. And third, use of the interest rate as a benchmark.
Lastly, allow me to end off our presentation with conclusions. From our presentation video, we have explained about the Islamic banking concept and its principle. Some of the principles that we have discovered are Al-Wadiyah Yadamana, Al-Mudarabah, Al-Musharakah and Al-Murabaha. To explain it briefly, all the principles are according to the Sharia law, which are not involved in the prohibited transactions such as riba, gharar, maisir, and prohibited activities that are forbidden in Islam.
That's all from us for today's presentation. Thank you so much for listening.